You're good, Susan.
Threw it away, Susan.
2 years ago.
He's like the paper TA. I'm the TA that manages things. He's the paperwork TA. Give all the paperwork to Cap.
Part of the advisory of it. Matt's cousins.
Hi, Matt. We met.
Do you not know Matt?
No, I
No,
know
we
him.
met. I'm just being sarcastic.
I had never seen him before, so I was questioning him.
He's legit, yo. He's
Oh, that's
legit.
fun. And colorful.
It's from Korea. It's the never mind. I'm thinking of those UFO houses they demolished recently. Yeah.
UFO houses?
Yeah, they were built back in the 50s, 60s.
Check that out. I love that about Google. You can set your background.
I got like a DJ board, like a Mackie board.
I just like it because it's a lot darker.
Oh.
And when I'm like at home,
Like the recesses of your soul, right? Like something cool.
yeah, I'm quite emo.
You listen to Five Finger Death Punch and Disturbed.
I don't know. I'm always cutting myself. I can't do music.
You listen to classic Linkin Park, some LP.
Crazy about the stars here.
It's like, yeah, we're Southeastern. We're kind of big on sports. Got a lot of sports.
Rachel Ray goes here, actually.
She like, yeah, she cooks now.
Yeah, she
I
decided
think they actually
herself.
dropped most of that this year. I think golf for $10.
No, they have a golf guy.
Budget cuts.
No, I mean, this is for last year.
Oh, really?
Well, this is because of this year, but I'm saying moving forward. Yeah. We're all fucking Carters anyway. I was like, did you really fucking pay somebody to
You're
come
so
from-
positive.
Well, I mean, really, like
He does not look like he's foreign.
couldn't be any better.
Is it good? Y'all good? Okay, y'all second.
I don't mean like foreigners as in like the non.
I love you, Luca.
You're talking about outside of the museum.
Outside of the US. So, like,
I love
even
Luca.
Canada.
Everyone should
It's funny, like, it's always diversity sign. It's like, you know, you should treat everyone equal, no matter if they're like black, brown, purple, or normal. It's like, oh, it's just like in a train station.
Oh my god, I like
All right. Thank you for coming to 383 Fine Presentations. Not going to really take much time because we only have 3 hours and we have 6 groups to go. I will say this, as TA, one third of the TAs, myself, Chase Pierce, and Eric Patton, would y'all like stand up and wave or something? Yeah. So Doc got us together. We talked about what we were going to do. Gave, in our opinion, one of the heaviest, well, maybe not the heaviest, the most well-balanced course load in this course so far for what they're doing. They've worked their butts off, they really have. So whenever you look up at here and you've got some criticisms, like little nitpicky things, try to consider 2 things. One, they really have done a lot of work, and 2, we don't have a lot of time, so if you're going to spend more than 10 seconds about nitpicky stuff, don't. Also, I will say this. Let the alumni, let the business leaders, let any of the, where are I? Yeah, so let the project managers and the alumni speak first when they're done. It'll be open for a few minutes to everybody else in the class, and then we'll move on to the next group, okay? Do they know the order that they're in? All right, so you know your order, be ready. I don't want to see any of these monitors on, unless you're on the back row, you're an alumni. Yep. He's right. Yeah. Turn your phones off, or turn it on vibrate or silent or shut up mode. Okay, yeah. Where are these guys on? They're first, they're second. Y'all too. So whenever the group after leaders, turn off that monitor.
He says that.
Alright, my name is Eric Boyd. I'm the Team 5 group leader for this final phase. We named our code project CodeSchism. This is Diliana Kostova, Brian Frederick, and Fabian Martin. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to Diliana to let her tell you about the resources and issues that we've had.
What we used in this project, we had MVC3, which was completely new to me, at least. I'm pretty sure to almost everybody. Visual Studio 2010 SVN. Color Code Source is a library for colorizing text or highlights, and Utility Controls, which is also very new. The issues we encountered, resizing utility controls. Since Telerik was so new, we have to learn how to position items on the page and to position them where we want them to be. So that was something to learn. CSS layout, I was somewhat familiar with CSS, but I still have to learn a lot about it. Model view transitions. MVC handles everything through control actions. So sending data from views to models is also handled through control action, and that was a big learning curve for me. And formatting controls with CSS was also the best thing we could do was set the size of something in percentages, so that to make sure that it's gonna be the right size.
Alright, Fabian, and I'm going to talk about some of the features that we have in our project. One of the things we have is syntax highlighting. When you enter a snippet of code, depending on the language, it goes ahead and highlights the keywords in that language. We had a extra feature where you can add your own libraries for your maybe custom libraries you want to add in there, so it can highlight those words as well. We also have a revision system. If somebody enters in code that has a small bug in it and you catch it, you can fix it. You hit revise if you have the conditions, and you can go ahead and change what's wrong and it'll submit it as a revision.
The next thing that we had implemented was the full text searching. And we basically did this by, we went through the titles first, and then we went through the actual orders, and then through the tags last, and it orders accordingly. We basically just took a count. We had like a hit count on basically through all the words in the search query and combinations of the actual query itself, and then we actually used the store procedure that actually returned all those values, and then laid them back to the website. The other thing we had implemented was practice settings. Basically, this wouldn't be something that a user specifically would be able to go into the website and manipulate, but it'd be a database values. In this particular instance, this is the to require the login before you can use the web page. This is just we just go to the website and we just enable. It's more of a toggle. We just toggle this on, and it allows you to do that. We very easily just shut it off, and then you could just go and flow through the website freely.
Okay, some of our other features that we have, code preview. That's for when you go to submit something. If you want to preview to see what it looks like, to make sure that you don't want to add any extra changes, or if something looks wrong, then you can go back and rechange it. Comments on particular code files or articles. Add comments so that it'll kind of tell you what's going on in the code without having to actually look at the code. Related links, it'll show on the side. Maybe you might be interested in looking at this file that goes along with this file that you're currently looking at. A secure login, certain people shouldn't be able to look at particular files or edit certain files. And some future implementation, change highlighting. Sorry.
If you would make a revision, it would go ahead and it would change, like it would show you what's different from this revision to the revision before that. So it basically show the person who's using it what was changed from each revision.
Number line coding, that's obviously, you'll see on the side the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. When you look at each code, it'll show the numbers.
And keyword highlighting, this is something that I was working on, but we actually didn't get a chance to combine it with the big project where when you go to search particular keys or search words, it'll bold text within. Sorry. You search within the articles, and it displays the keyword that you just searched, or the query. Sorry. It'll display the query as in highlighting or bolding. I was doing it in bolding. Could have easily done it in different colors.
And I'm going to go ahead and go through the demo now. So this thing right now we have it configured to where it's going to require a login before you actually go through the website. So we're logged in here. We see there's the Invoke website right here. That was more or less for the presentation. Particularly, I would have actually, I guess the reason that I had this for it was to have like something such as CRM Dynamics or Microsoft SharePoint here, so you could be able to access your enhancements or bugs while being able to be in this utility. I'm logged in right now. I can go to my uploads. And this is just showing everything that I've uploaded thus far. And then by clicking on a link, it's going to bring me straight to the thread. And you can see here in the thread that I've actually made one comment. I haven't made any revisions on it. To the right, you can see the related links that are there. You can add a comment. I can go here and I can revise the thread. Coincidentally, this string builder wasn't part of the syntax library, but it's a DLL that was added through the syntax library. And then everything, then it'll just load back, and you're back to where you were. I will say this, throughout the application, we actually had a lot more done in the back end than we actually had to show for you. Coming into this, we were all basically had little to no experience with HTML or MVC for that matter. So we did have a lot of stuff done in the back end that's you won't be able to see. This is just a regular upload screen. You could enter a title, tag separated by commas, and choose the language that you'd like to use as well. And that's about it. We have the syntax library here. And this is showing all the DLLs that I've uploaded for the syntax highlighting. You can just pick the language you want, select the DLL, and it'll upload it. It'll basically use reflection and take all the classes within that DLL and add it to a string file that'll be pulled in as a regular expression whenever it's used for syntax highlighting. The directory here, I mean, it's simple. You can click on all the tabs. It'll show it all by language. It'll list them all. Or you can do the full text search, which will show accordingly all the articles available, as well as code snippet. And then you can just click on that from there, and it'll bring you back to the thread where you can add comments. And that's about it. Are there any questions?
Can you create users?
Yes. That's actually, that's also in a setting that can be toggled on and off to allow them to register from accessing the site.
questions?
Back to the upload.
Anybody else?
Can you guys go through and very briefly explain what you did, what your contribution was to this?
I worked on a little bit of this upload page, to where it takes the text out of the control and it saves it to the database and does the syntax highlighting, which was done by Eric. He did all the code for what actually highlights the words. And I did the layout for the directory. Whenever you search, which was, I think, Bianca worked on that, and it just displays all the links and kind of gives you a preview of what's in that link.
I worked on the user settings, registering, logging in, all the database, the store procedures, the my upload section, thread section, the comments, the syntax library. I think that's about it. I did a bunch of the back end stuff.
I worked on some of the layout, the search box, worked on adding the code tags in the editor.
And as I said before, I worked on code searching and text folding, and also did unit testing.
Right. So you guys were talking about how there's a lot of back-end functionality that you can't see. Is that because the front is not done, or is that because there's more in the back than the front implies?
No, it was more that we just didn't have time to put it on the front end. We got call time, and then it was basically when implementing some of this stuff, something would go wrong, we had to come back and fix it. So and in the end, we ended up just getting called on time.
So you guys ever heard the concept of vertical development?
Yes.
Can you explain it to me?
I mean, it's between doing the staying with each other, like if everybody's doing getting everything done at once. I'm at a loss for words.
That's okay. That's okay. It's doing development from the UI all the way down to the database in one very small slice and get it to work, right? You don't want to do a bunch of database development with like horizontal development, or what I call sedimentary development. You do all the database, cool. You do all the business logic, cool. Then we're going to get the UI. What you're going to realize is when it doesn't work, then you got to change it in a million different places. Any one mistake is now multiplied across the application, and you end up with a scenario where you have a bunch of stuff in the back end, but the front end doesn't show. And it would be better to have taken all of that effort that you're not going to get any love for in this presentation, and have turned some of that into middle and top end so that you can show. So you do one feature from beginning to end, you solve all your issues, you learn a lot, and then you can apply that knowledge and work out.
Yeah, and a lot of that was actually my fault as a leader. Like I said, I had little to no experience doing this, and with this particular project, it was hard for me to see where things were going a lot of the time, myself. And I was having a lot of issues with that, and I was really expecting a lot more from myself than what I actually provided.
Now, don't be so hard. This course is about the noise that happens while you're supposed to be developing. It's about, 285 is about, let's see what you can do, right, if we make this as simple as possible. 383 is these guys from Invoke going, this is kind of what work is like. So we're going to give you some requirements, we're going to see how far you can get, and you don't just get to do whatever you want. You have to do what you need to do, and you can't just go, oh, well, this is hard, so I'm going to come up with something different that's going to be a feature that I can show in a presentation. No, you have to do this because we need this, right? So don't beat yourself up because it's hard. It's going to get worse.
Don't hang yourself yet.
Any other questions or comments, suggestions?
I'm curious about the method of syntax highlighting, just from the programming side of it. Did you use a third-party library and implement it, or did you guys try to do a roll your own?
I got a third-party library, and then I actually it was just like a source code project. I pulled down the source code project, and then I altered the actual. Basically, it was just a bunch of rules, and it just said it was like rule C# this, and it was just a bunch of regular expressions for it. And I basically took that, and then for the syntax highlighting, for like the custom syntax highlighting, I just made a custom rule where it's passing in a string, and then whenever you upload a DLL, it basically, I'm using reflection, and I'm grabbing all the classes from that DLL, and then I'm inserting it into a string, and then whenever that rule is pulled, it's gonna pull it all into a regular expression.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.